Namaste and welcome. In this video we are gonna talk about center of gravity. This is quite important to know because our ego doesn't stay in one spot at all time. It moves up and down like the spiral talked about. So here we're gonna talk about what center of gravity means and what affects our center of gravity. Positive or ascending, less separation, or descending, more separation. And we're gonna go through quite quickly what this means and what effects it has on us. So, center of gravity is where our ego's predominant stage, okay? It's where we spend most of our time. So behind me here, I drop the text here. So, if your center of gravity is an expert, then if you increase your ego's awareness, you move up to an achiever. Or if you descend, you go into a diplomat. So there's a few habits we can do that can create our egos to ascend up, that causes less separation between others, or go down and create more separation of self and others. So let's go into it. So if you are an achiever and you're maintaining a steady, healthy way, you stay in that achiever most of the time. But if you change a few things around, this can have a short-term positive influence. So it means you can move up for the short term, and that is you get exposure to new ideas and perspective. For example, you read a book. This book is open up your mind, give you a new perspective, your ego gets expanded and you move up in a moment, or watching a YouTube video or whatever. You can get supportive feedback or recognition. That can also elevate your ego's awareness. You know, you come up to a person and they give you some really good feedback or something you've done. You feel great, you feel more possibility, your perspective elevates. So that's another way. A challenging experience. You overcome a task that you find quite challenging and you do it in a good way. That can also elevate your ego's awareness. Reflective practices. So you reflect on yourself. That is also a way we can elevate our ego's awareness. And supportive relationship, good friends. You might feel a bit down, you might come there, feel a bit down, and they bring you up with supportive experience. That also elevate your ego's awareness. And or just walking in nature. I love nature. So if you feel a bit off and you go for a nice stroll through a forest, see how you feel. You feel amazing. So that's some short terms where it can bring you up for the short term. It could be 1 minute, it could be a day, it could be a week, but it just happens on a short term basis. If you want to have a long term positive growth of your ego and create less separation, this is how you do it then. You continue to learn, you study, you read, you take on new concepts. It's all about widen and get more perspective. Because as your ego grows, your perspective grows with it and create less separation. So keep learning. That will keep you ascending at a long-term phase. Stable and supportive relationship. Your relationship around you, do they support your life? Do they encourage you to keep growing? Something you have to ask yourself. But if you have that, that will support your ego's growth. Consistent, reflective, mindful practices. This is going to be crucial. We're going to do meditation in this. And this is so important to meditate and reflect on oneself. And be consistent about it. Because we are our thoughts and habits and actions, right? So the way we reflect will help us grow in our ego's awareness and also separation against others, okay? Having a purposeful life Do you have a purpose? Ask yourself a question. What makes you get out of bed in the morning? Questions like this will also elevate your ego. When you get out of bed in the morning and you're excited to take on a day, whatever you might be doing. Health and well-being. Look after your body and your mind. It's going to be very important to keep growing your ego's awareness and decrease the separation towards others. Is having a healthy body. If you're sick, you don't have much energy for anything else to just be. So keep yourself healthy, crucial. Cultivating emotional intelligence. So this videos are intellectual. We talk about a lot of stuff, but our emotional intelligence is crucial. And emotional intelligence, I'm going to do a video about this to dive deeper, because this is going to be crucial to know how to grow our ego's awareness, is to be in touch with our emotional side, to feel why we feel a certain way. It's going to be crucial. Embracing diversity and inclusion. Very important. Because ego awareness is about realizing that everyone has their own point of view. Everyone's point of view is their own unique point of view of the world. So as you grow, the more perspective you can take in, the easier it is to realize, hang on a minute, it's other points of view, and you can reflect on those points of view, which help you elevate your egos on a long-term basis. Spiritual growth, okay? That is practices we're talking about here. Mindfulness. It's about not be separate from others. So doing things like yoga, meditation, mindfulness, pranayama, all of that stuff will make you feel connected to your inner self and also grow your ego's outer self. So spiritual practice is really important. And your environment surrounding. Where do you live? What is your day like? Is it safe outside? Do you live close to nature? Can you go for a swim in the morning? Do you wake up in the morning and go for a surf? I don't know. But if you can do these things, it will help you grow your ego's awareness on a long-term basis. So that's the long-term for growth. And let's head to the other side. Short-term will make your ego drop down and go down the spiral. Is excessive stress and pressure. You might be stressed at work, deadlines. You need to do all financial stress. When you feel stress, that will bring you down as well. Traumatic events. That can be a short-term injuries. Death of someone you love, or even death of pets. Anyone who throws you off and creates a bit of trauma in your life, that will also lower your ego's awareness, create more separation between self and others. Lack of support and validation. When you don't get supported by your peers, you come here with a great idea, you come and talk about ego development to your friend, and they just shut you down and will bring you down also your development at that time, short term. Disruption of routine and your stability. Routine is very important to have, to create a strong, healthy routine. And if something happens that disrupts that can bring your ego's awareness, create more separation for the short term. Negative feedback and setbacks. Yeah, you've done a good job, you think you've done a good job, and you bring it up to your boss, and the feedback is not very good, and that will bring you down for the moment. Or any form of setbacks can be, exercise. You might set a goal to lift a certain amount of weight or lose a certain amount of weight and you don't get that. It can bring you down for the short term. And basic needs. Do you get enough sleep, enough food? So if you're really hungry or you're really tired, that will affect the way you look at the world and create more separation and so on. So that's a short term. Now let's go into the more long term. So that will keep you anchored in it. This one could be just a short term, but this one will hold you for a long time and not give you the opportunity to grow and create more less separation and create more unitive thinking. Okay, let's go into them. So negative long-term influences. Chronic stress that lead to burnout. So this was a short-term stress. This is a long-term stress. You wake up in the day and you're stressed all day. At work, at home. If this is happening on a regular basis, this will hold you back. It will anchor you. Toxic relationships. So a big part of this videos, we are going to reflect in meditation, and you will reflect on your life, see what you see, and we're going to go through relationships. And if you have toxic relationships, how do you know that? Well, a good way to know you're in a toxic relationship, when you see this person, it drains you. You don't want to see them, it makes you tired. That is a toxic relationship. And do you have it? I don't know, but that will keep your ego tethered to a lower stage. Stagnation, lack of growth. You don't have anything to grow. Your career is come to a halt. You're not doing anything to push yourself outside your comfort zone. You're just stagnated. Spending too much time on your phone all day, every day, that will keep your ego's growth at a stagnation. Poor physical health. One great saying is, a healthy man has many wishes. A sick man only has one. Your body needs to stay healthy and your mind needs to stay healthy. Very important. Negative emotional patterns. This is going to be a video on its own about emotional intelligence, that we start recognizing our patterns of our mind, reflect on them, and do we have negative ones? And if we have negative patterns, negative self-talk is one of them. A rigid mindset, not be able to change, that will keep your ego very much locked into separation and hard to grow the ego's sense of self. Cognitive and mental barriers. This is also a big one. How do we perceive the world? How do we see others? If there's a lot of separation in there, we will have a hard time growing. This is a big topic we're gonna spend more time on. Unresolved trauma. You have trauma in your life that doesn't get resolved. That will keep your egos tethered to a lower state as well. Social and culture. If you have social and cultural pressures, culture can be really good, but can also be a negative influence. If you start to change, which you do, remember the ego's worldview. As you grow, your worldview of the world changes with it. So a culture can also be your family. You might be in your whole life at a diplomat, and here you start growing and become an achiever, and your friends and family or culture don't agree with your change, and they will hold you back in the previous state because that's how they know you at. You are a diplomat, you're doing so, you don't do achiever stuff. That can keep your growth tethered as well, to not be able to grow because of pressures from family or culture. Lack of purpose and meaning. if you wake up in the morning and you have no reason to get out of bed and find no excitement in life, that's also a good way for the egos to stay tethered. So they're quite big topics, all of them. So these here will keep you not growing. This here can just keep you stuck for a second. This here will bring you up and keep growing. And maintaining center of gravity, regular self-assessment, healthy habits, balanced lifestyle, in continuous improvement. So yeah, keep moving forward with your task and what you want to do. So that's center of gravity. So you have a predominant state which your ego spends most of the time in. When small negative things happen, it can drop down and your sense of separation increases, or good things can happen. Good challenges will bring you up and you're more unitive and less separation happens too. So the name of the game here is to self-reflect on oneself. What's in our mind? What are our thoughts like? Cool. That was the end of this video. Hopefully you learned a bit more about it. We're gonna go even deeper into the different stages, the strengths and the weaknesses, and go into some meditations. So, namaste, and thanks so much for your time, and I'll see you next video.